Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special Around the Ropes podcast episode. Now, I know we were just on a couple of days ago, but we're actually on tonight, unfortunately, to talk about a passing. And I know you can't see my co-host right now, but he is here. He is one half of the Opinion City podcast, making his debut, the one, the only, Sean. Sean, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Not the best set of circumstances to be on the episode, but I'm happy to be here. I am one half of the Opinion City tag team with my buddy Ralph Heinmarch, and I am the Marty to his Michaels, that as we like to say. Super sad circumstances. Not only did we lose Terry Funk yesterday, but unfortunately we lost Bray Wyatt today. And not that Terry Funk's didn't hit me, but this one just felt like a punch to the face.
I completely agree. And like Sean just... No, go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, I was going to say, like Sean said, we did lose somebody who... I know he hasn't been on TV for some time, and it was reported that he was set to be coming back anytime soon, but unfortunately, it was reported that he did pass away. He passed away at the age of 36 years old, and
36.
What made the story kind of sting a bit is the fact that it wasn't reported by TMZ or Vanity or any of those other sites. It was reported by Paul Levesque himself, Triple H.
And the boss himself did it.
Yeah, and it absolutely stung. I mean, this is a guy who's a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know if he won the tag titles.
He did.
Trying to remember now. He did? Okay, I wasn't. But he's former tag team champion. He is a second-generation wrestler. And I have no words right now, to be honest. I have no words at all.
Are no words for this. I was literally shooting the shit with my buddy Nick of mine, who's also training to be a wrestler. What's up, Nick? And as soon as we got off the phone, he sent me a text. Bray Wyatt died, and that was like the gunshot wound. Like, it felt like a gunshot. Like, as soon as I saw a message, I didn't want to believe it. And then he sent me the tweet, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm 33. I'm going to be 34 this year in a month, in a week. He was 36. That's 2 years away. That's crazy to me. My brother Adam is 36. That's crazy to me. Like, it's, oh God, like, such a talent gone, like, way too soon.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the last match he did have, and it was reminded to me earlier today, the last match he had was against Bray Wyatt, against LA Knight at the Rumble.
Yeah.
That was his last match in the Pitch Black Mountain Dew, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Which wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a great match, which makes that being his last match kind of sad. And I wish we could have gotten just one other match, but it unfortunately that was the last match.
Unfortunately, yes. And I mean, this is a guy who, unfortunately, now there's two daughters now who don't have a father anymore. Yeah. There's a wife now who doesn't have a husband.
Yep.
And it made me realize that I don't know if it was so much like when Terry Funk passed away yesterday. It didn't really hit me because, again, I didn't watch him that much. I saw him bits and pieces, but not as much as Bray Wyatt. I mean, I remember Bray Wyatt from when he first debuted.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was a great debut.
And that was, I think if I remember correctly, he had his first match when it was him, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan was against Kane at SummerSlam 2013, I think.
Yeah,
and you had he had the. I mean, I still remember when he would start singing. He has the whole world in his hands, and you would have 20 to 50,000 people singing along with him.
Yeah, it was so good. It was just like he's just such a genius mind in wrestling in my eyes. I know some of the stuff he's done is kind of hokey, but I think with everything that he's done, it's always been Bray and nothing else but Bray.
That's probably the best way to put it. Is he? I'll say this right now. Do I wish he got utilized better in the WWE? Absolutely, and I've said that for a long time. But I don't think right now is the place or time to go into how he was used.
No, 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 no. What's more important
But
is
I
the
mean, this is
the the man, not so much the character, which was also just great, but the man himself. He was just seemed like such a genuine dude behind the scenes as well as on screen. He was just like he similar to Brody Lee. He was just a genuine dude that was just gone way too soon.
And by the way, guys, we are live right now. So if you'd like to leave any comments about any of your favorite memories of Bray Wyatt, you can definitely leave them in the comments below. If you want to hop on with us, just shoot me a message. Or if you're friends with Sean, shoot him a message. He'll send you. One of us will send you the link if you'd like to hop on.
Yeah.
Believe me, we're not going to be on that long tonight. But I wanted to at least this story when this story broke, and I was out for dinner tonight when I heard the story when the story first broke, and I thought at first I was like, this can't be real.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it to a friend of mine earlier because he made the comment to me. He goes, they were saying how his health wasn't good. But if you notice, they never specified exactly what was going on with his health.
Yeah, it was some sort of illness that they claimed said was like a life-threatening illness that he was recovering from, and it seemed like he was gonna do better. Like they kept saying that they had possible plans for him, being creative, going into next month. Had he been ready to come back, and he was so close to a return, and now he's just gone, and it stings worse than many of the other losses that we've had. Again, Terry Funk was super sad, and may he rest in peace. But for some reason, this one just hit harder. I think it just felt closer to home, is what it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say because to me, I kind of put what happened with Bray in the same realm like I do with Brody Lee, and I say that for one
Absolutely.
reason. When Brody Lee died, nobody knew anything as far as that he had passed away till AEW put out that post almost 2 years ago that he had died.
Yeah.
Now you look at with Bray, it was the same. It was the same thing. It was
Yeah.
nobody had said anything, and I remember at first when they had first announced that he had died, everybody thought right away that it was some sort of mental health thing.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to be on here right now, putting out possibilities of what causes death because it's
No,
not
no,
going to
no.
change anything. It's not going to change the fact that we lost a superstar. And normally, when you see wrestling shows like my show or even like Sean's show or any of these wrestling shows, do these in memoriam shows, they're usually difficult to do.
Yeah, this one wasn't easy for me, but like as soon as you messaged me, I was like, yes, because I was just sitting here like in my thoughts, like I call it all of my wrestling friends, like for a second, because like the message felt like a punch, like it literally, I like it took the breath out of me. Like that was my initial reaction to like as soon as I saw it, I was just a gasp. My first thought was Google because I didn't know where to go. I was like, I this Google always has the answers, and the first thing is Triple H's tweet, and I'm like, wow, of all the people to break the news, it is from the higher up himself, the top of the chain. other than Vince, Triple H, and that's when you know it's like it's real. And yeah, it's like I said, just such a talent that like it just hurts like not only just for like the wrestling fans, but just like I can't imagine what his wife's going through. I just all of my heart and love and condolences go out to him, his friends and family, and everybody in between. It's just yeah,
I completely agree with everything you're saying right now. And all I'm going to say is this SmackDown tomorrow night is going to be a tearjerker of a show.
I hope it's they better put on some sort of tribute show. It better be like backstage segments, talks about how great he was and how and his genius mind in wrestling. I hope it's like just a tearjerker, like a tearjerker, um, because he deserves all and any of the praise that he's ever gotten in terms of like just his everything, just everything. He can't pick one thing. He's just good in general. Great.
I I agree with everything you're saying. We actually do have some comments coming in, so let me just go to these comments quickly. Good friend of the show, David Reynolds over from the UK says, "Hey John, words can't express how I'm feeling right now. Bray was 7 years younger than me. It hurts, and I've literally been in tears." We got another comment coming in here from our YouTube side saying, "I truly thought this was fake news. Shocking. Hate to be cliche, but thoughts and prayers." That's all you can say right now.
Yeah, that's really the only words that can be said right now is just all the love in the world to everybody that was affected by it. And it's just like, you know, you almost want to hope it's fake news sometimes. And this one was one of those things where I hoped it was like, nah, this can't be real. But like, as soon as I found out it was real, it's just like soul crushing. Like, of all the wrestlers, of all the people that we had to take away, of all of the people, you take Bray Wyatt. Like, that's just, ugh.
And the whole thing absolutely, and it still stings. And I think, and a lot of it also may have to do with the fact that we are still coming off of the passing of Terry Funk.
Yeah. Two
But the
days back to
difference
back.
with Terry Funk, and I'm not trying, yeah, and I'm not trying to sit here and compare the passing of Terry Funk to the passing of Bray Wyatt. They both absolutely suck. But I think
I seem to have had problems with my co-host, but Bray's just one of those guys that he had such memorable moments in the ring in wrestling. Obviously the debut of the Fiend was one of my favorite moments of his recent comeback. Obviously the Wyatt family was amazing with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. You had the Firefly Funhouse match, which I was just watching before we got on the show. One of my favorite like cinematic matches that we had during the COVID era. Um, he will be back shortly. um, there's so many good moments. When he won the belt was a great moment. The first time around, even though it was only for a month, because then he faced Randy Orton in that interesting match at Mania with the overhead screens coming down on the ring and making those weird visuals to help the match. Uh, you had when he beat Rollins for the Universal Championship. That was another moment that was good. I would count the second one, but then again, he lost it like within weeks thanks to Roman Reigns. So that one was hurtful. So was it when they had Goldberg beat the Fiend. That shouldn't have never happened. Got some more comments on here. I truly thought this was fake news. I thought the same thing. Yes, may he rest in peace. It's just, like I said, it's just sad. It's just one of the worst, one of the worst wrestling tragedies to come next to Brody Lee, because I think Brody Lee was one of the first ones that was just a shocking loss, but then Bray Wyatt's was just as bad. Hey, he's back.
Sorry about that. My computer decided to, of all nights, to take a crap tonight.
Yeah, it's just one of those nights. One of those
Of course.
nights.
Oh, exactly. If anybody has any leads on a possible new laptop, please send them my way. I need a new freaking laptop at this point. No, because Sean, every show I've done in like the last month, notoriously the computer decides, oh, we're gonna have you get logged off.
Yeah, it happens. It happens more often than you think.
So yeah. Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. But I think, but now let me ask you this now, and to anybody who's watching, definitely leave your comments below. What was your favorite Bray Wyatt moment?
I was just saying that while you were in hibernation for a second. I mentioned a bunch of them. There's so many good ones. I can say them again. I mean, just the initial Bray Wyatt debut with the Wyatt family was just so much fun from the start. That's when you knew that you were on a ride, and he was basically the next Taker and Kane. Like that was where they were going with him. That he was the next dark character, and it was the journey that they brought him on, which is what's so fascinating to me. Just the journey from the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, to the Fiend, to this hybrid Uncle Howdy, like finding myself version. It was just all of it was just fun. I think the Firefly Funhouse match was a great memory with the Fiend and John Cena in the cinematic match during COVID. Obviously, the Fiend's debut with Finn Balor was a memorable one. Just that whole entrance was just perfect. I loved the entrance. I loved the theme. I loved the creepy Bray Wyatt face lantern that he walked down with. That was just the ultimate creep factor. It was just it was just such fun stuff.
And I'm in complete agreement. We have somebody commented on it right now who agrees with you about that. Their favorite Bray Wyatt moment was when he came back as the Fiend.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment.
And the fact, I mean, the fact that you had somebody in Wyndham Rotunda who was incredibly creative behind the scenes. I probably now my Discord is open, and I don't know why.
You're fine.
Yeah. All right. All right, Sean, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're still good. I got you, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason my entire computer decides, on all nights, the night when it was probably the toughest around those podcasts to do, my computer decided now to have a mind of its own.
Yeah, that happens. That does tend to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. But like a true professional, I move on. And I think for me, my biggest moment, obviously I agree about the Fiend when he debuted. Because I think about funny story about the Fiend. Do you remember when they debuted him initially?
Well, like the image of him. I remember the image of him. Like it was like episode 4 or 5 of the Funhouse when they showed his full outfit before he was actually in the ring.
Hold on. Okay, now I should be good now. No, what I was saying is when they initially debuted him, not when he came back when they were in the Thunderdome era.
No, I mean when it was like the third or fourth episode,
I
maybe the
was
fifth one,
you're gonna
when he debuted on the Firefly Funhouse show before he was actually in the ring.
well. Hold on. Okay, when he debuted. Okay. What I was going to say was, I was there live when he debuted in the ring.
Oh wow!
It was a Monday Night Raw at the Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, he attacked Finn Balor.
I what was funny though, I remember I was, I think, third or fourth row in on the floor from the barricade. All of a sudden, Finn was doing his, I forgot who Finn had faced right beforehand. And all I remember was I out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody running down the ramp. Mind you, it's dark, so you're not supposed to see them. And
Yep.
I was there when when he officially debuted in the ring as the Fiend.
Yeah, I feel like it's harder for those dark
But
setups to see live than on TV, because on TV you don't see them there, but live you can see them because
yeah,
it's not that dark. So it kind of ruins the allure a little bit.
exactly. I think another moment for him, and I'm surprised nobody's really talking about this one, when he won the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I said that earlier. When he won it, I wish that the reign was longer, but he won it, and he had that really dare I say interesting match with the Orton at
With
Mania.
that one, he didn't win it from Orton at Mania. He
No,
did he
I'm
win at
saying
the
he
Chamber
lost
that
Orton at
year?
Mania. No, I'm saying he had that match after he won it.
Yeah,
Against Orton at Mania when he lost it. Um,
yeah.
he only had it for a month. I wish his reign was longer. I wish all of his reigns were longer. I think his first reign as the Fiend was the longest reign he had as any world champion.
Here's the thing I look at though. You look at what he did. I mean, not only Bray Wyatt the character was something, but you also have to look at how he elevated Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, and Luke Harper.
Yeah.
He made them something.
I mean, I feel like Luke is a little different though, because I feel like in general, WWE didn't see him higher than a mid Carter, and he was worth so much more than that. But yes, him and the Wyatt family were an amazing team. I love them. I love their feud with the Shield. Me and Ralph both have said this. We love their feud with the Shield. Probably one of the better feuds of their history. Just some great matches,
And
great stuff together.
Sean, I think we're having your co-host actually join us right now.
Oh yeah, buddy. That's what I was hoping for.
So let me bring him in.
There he is.
Hey,
The
Ralph, how you
host with
doing?
the mostest. He's
Hey,
the host with all the
can
most.
you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Hang on.
Oh boy, more technical problems.
No, it's not. No, it's probably just you.
Of course.
Just kidding.
Of course.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, hostess with the mostest?
Hey.
This is the Shawn Michaels to my Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, that's me. All right.
We were just talking about favorite moments of Bray Wyatt. Do you have some of yours that you would like to share, sir?
Give me 1 second here.
Not a problem.
All right. All
Can
right,
you hear us now?
Yeah, I got you now. All right, we're all
Yep.
good.
We can hear you.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. Horrible circumstances to be here and chatting with you guys, but you know, it's I said to Sean earlier that I don't think we've ever had 2 days in a row where we've gone through, wrestling tragedy like this.
Yeah, like two legit big stars back to back, and I was telling John earlier, Ralph, that I think this one for us hits closer to home because of the age range that he passed away. Like I'm gonna be 36 in 2 years. My brother Adam is 36 now. That just hits a little bit more closer to home to me. That it's that close to how old we are. That it literally
Yeah.
it can happen at any moment, and that's just the truth of life.
Well, and I think that's that's kind of what we go through when we see a lot of these, wrestlers that pass away. We start to think about our own mortality and, just how quickly some of them go. I mean, you have situations with a Terry Funk where, he's been sort of ailing for a while. It's not like this was just a sudden out of nowhere type of thing. Not that it hurts any less, but it's a little different when you look at somebody like a Bray Wyatt, where, you know, I mean, one day you're talking about him and trying to figure out, when is he coming back? Where's he going to end up? Is he going to be back in WWE? And then all of a sudden you hear something like this, and it really starts to make you think about your own mortality.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we were saying it before. What stings with this one is the fact that we had heard reports that he was making a rebound. He was,
Mhm.
you know, that they. As Sean said when we opened up this special tonight, there were plans put in place for him as
Mhm.
early as next month.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think with a guy like him, it's it's really hard because you look at somebody who, from all accounts, was just one of the most talented minds that we've seen come about in years. I mean, when you talk about generational talents, which is something we talked about at length at times on our show, you talk about somebody that just has a mind for the business that you can't teach. Just this absolute instinct. I go back to this interview that the Triple H did a couple of years ago, and it was really talking about why NXT was successful. And one of the things that he mentioned was, we let guys sort of take the reins as far as their characters go and really try to make something of their ideas, their thoughts, what they want to do. And he used Bray Wyatt as an example, and he's like, Bray Wyatt is a guy who is just 100% successful in what he's doing, but a lot of that success comes from him, working on the ideas and bringing up the the characters and the storylines and things like that. So, just to be able to look at somebody like that and see someone that has such a great mind for the business, that again is something you can't teach. This is the same thing that we sort of went through when Scott Hall passed, because everybody started talking about what a great wrestling mind Scott Hall had as well. And so I think there's a lot of times where we see, these talents, and it's not just that we're losing, another member of the wrestling community, but it's that we're losing somebody that really has a mind for the business that we may not see again for a long time.
No, he was such a genius, just like in general. His mindset as the Wyatt family, as the leader, as the cult leader, as the Fiend, as this hybrid version of the real Bray
Mhm.
Wyatt and this version of himself. Just all of it was it was all him. Like all the creative, I mean, I'm sure some of it was WWE, but the mind
Mhm.
that he had for his character, like, he knew exactly where he wanted his character to go, almost at all times. And if it wasn't his way, it was no way, because he knew what he wanted out of his own character.
And I'll go even a step further. If you remember when he made his return at Extreme Rules. I think Extreme Rules last year, I think it was.
Last
if I
year.
remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it was literally last year.
And I remember they had the whole thing where they had the different members of the, of this whole Wyatt Six
Yep.
around the arena. And
So cool.
and I still remember, I still remember the image in my head of the Pitch Black match with him and LA Knight at the Rumble this past year. And you had the spot where Uncle Howdy dove off the truck, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yep. He dives off, I think, part of the stage and goes through LA Knight.
Yeah. And I mean, you also have to give WWE, you also have to give Bray Wyatt credit on the whole Wyatt Six thing, because that was all his idea.
Oh, his whole comeback was all him. Like, there were fans. I mean, I remember fans were starting to complain that it's going nowhere. But Bray Wyatt always had, in my mind, always had a plan, and it was and if you had just waited and joined him on this run, you would eventually get to the end game of the plan. But unfortunately, due to his untimely passing, we're not going to get to see that. I just read just now on social media something that made me even more sad. I'm going to share it with you guys on this thing. Brody Lee Jr., sadly in his young life, has already lost his dad and now his godfather.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. It's just it just makes you realize just how many people that this one passing affected. Like, not only did -1, if you will, lose his father, but technically his godfather in Bray Wyatt. It's just so sad. Like, both of those passings, both of them passed away way too young. And it's just, again, it all goes back to the whole mortality thing. Like, it makes you really think, like, anything can happen. Literally anything can happen.
I think it's really hard when you watch, some of these young people that grow up in the wrestling business that, have parents and fathers that and mothers that, may be involved in the business. And it's really tough because a lot of times, the wrestling business is just fraught with tragedy. I mean, these are guys that, put their bodies on the line for the entertainment of others. And we see so many of these, old timers, and again, even some of the younger generation that just, their lives are beset with tragedy because of the wrestling world. And so, it's crazy when you look at some of these situations and just see where, families go through, such tragedies.
Yeah. And I mean, and also, folks, before I forget, we are live tonight. So if you'd like to leave any comments below as far as favorite moments, favorite matches of Bray, you definitely can. The other thing also I just want to mention is, obviously, like, we've been saying this for as long as we've been on. We lost Terry Funk yesterday. And that didn't hit me so hard because I really wasn't around for Terry Funk for most of his run. It was more towards the end of his run. But Bray Wyatt, it kind of hit more because I had seen his entire run.
Sure.
And I remember, and I was telling this to Sean before, I remember, his debut when he took on Kane in the Inferno. It was the Inferno match. I forgot which match it was.
The Ring of Fire match.
Yes.
If you will.
Yes. And you guys, and Sean, you had said before about the Shield Wyatt rivalry. I still remember their match
the
they had.
Feuds, me and Ralph's favorite feud.
I absolutely love it.
I still remember the match they had at Elimination Chamber 2014, I think.
Yeah.
2014, and you had and they were in Minneapolis, I remember.
Yeah.
And you had, even before any fighting happened, you had both teams in the ring. And you had the crowd chanting like they had just seen Blair and Steamboat wrestle.
Yeah. That's how, like, special that feud was. Like, they could just stand there and not do anything. and the crowd would go ballistic because for them that was a dream tag match to have the Shield versus the Wyatts. And when it finally happened, it was some of the best stuff you could possibly put out during that time.
And that to me, I'll put that on the same level, and I may get a little chastised for this, but I would put that on the same level had we gotten DX and NWO in their prime.
Yeah, because I think that's fair to say, though, because if you look at the parallels between them, and just a lot of times we can't really compare different eras of wrestling like that, but in this case you have such feuds that could have been so similar, and just looking at the popularity of the Shield and the Wyatt family, and just what they were able to accomplish separately as groups, I think that's a real fair comparison.
And I know the comment, I know somebody's going to sit there and say, but it was that it was different times. I'm sorry, you look at the popularity when the Shield were at their peak. You look at the popularity when the Wyatt family were at their peak. I don't think you could have gotten two hotter factions at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly not.
Face Off. It's even like, again, that was the dream Face Off. Was we were waiting to see that blow up, and when it finally did, oh man, talk about just amazing stuff. Like, just amazing matches, the ring work. Just that time period, man, was just crazy time period with the Wyatts, the Shield.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think that it's a testament to the groups when you see what they became after they broke up, and you see how practically everybody from both groups went on to amazing careers. I mean, we all know what happened with the Shield, with Bray Wyatt, just blowing up, Brody Lee going to AEW and finally getting the recognition and the run that he deserved, that he never really got in WWE. You just had all these mega stars that were coming out of these factions at the end of their runs. It's just incredible to think that we had all of that talent in the ring at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's why I think I wish they would have done a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they would have done something
so much more.
Oh, yeah. And I wish they would have done something where, they would have had some sort of war type match at a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam.
Man, if they could have had a War Games together, I would have paid money to be ringside.
Oh, without a doubt.
That would have been an amazing match. An amazing match. You could have literally all four members of the Wyatts. You could have Bray, Luke, Eric, and Strowman against the Shield and a fourth random guy, whoever they want to throw together with him, because whatever. But yeah, no. It's just you can't say enough about the mindset that Bray Wyatt had the business. And I'm gonna throw it to you, Ralph. What are some of your favorite moments of Bray in his career so far?
So for me, I'm really a Bray Wyatt purist. I think I wasn't so much a big fan of the Fiend. I do like what they did with the Firefly Funhouse, but the whole Fiend thing for me didn't really hit. I understand what they were trying to do, but for me, I think my favorite moments of Bray Wyatt were his NXT days. I was such a big fan of the Wyatts in NXT when they would, you had that very short sort of entrance ramp, and they would come down and they would bring the chair down, and they would sit there and Bray would just watch, and there was a vibe and a feeling to his gimmick in NXT that just, I know what they became on the main roster. I still don't think they ever really for what they were on the main roster, I don't think they ever really hit that feeling and that vibe. And you can look at their last appearance on NXT before they went to the main roster, kind of where they did their promo in the ring and said goodbye. And it was just, Bray Wyatt was different. You were getting something that we hadn't seen. You weren't getting something that was just a rehash of something else. You were getting just this completely sort of fresh gimmick. And I think they really did hit some heights on the main roster. The pay-per-view where they had their entrance played live and they came out, that was really cool. So they did have big moments. But I just don't think they ever hit that same vibe that they had in NXT. So for me, I really enjoyed, Bray Wyatt's time in NXT. The promos from him were just so creative. When I look at promos, I think of guys like Ric Flair. I think of guys like Dusty Rhodes, guys that I could sit there and just watch promos all day long. Macho Man Randy Savage. You can just sit there and watch promos all day long. And for me, that was Bray Wyatt. He was just so captivating.
Yeah, I can listen to Bray Wyatt talk all day long. He has that voice that you wanted to hear his stories. Like that's how he was, and and he has such a mind for the business that if you think about it, I remember someone posted somewhere that the Fiend character he teased it so far back as 4 or 5 years prior to it being even a thought. He teased it in a promo somewhere where the Fiend was going to be, and that was his idea back 5 years earlier, just to be that person that will foreshadow a thing that happens 5 years later, just because that's what he wanted in his mind. He knew what he wanted with his character.
Yeah. Another moment that just dawned on me is his rivalry with John Cena.
I was at that Extreme Rules when he beat John with the use of a little kid singing. He's got the whole world in his hands ringside, just scared John Cena.
Yeah,
it was as silly as it was live. Seeing it back on screen, it was so cool to watch on screen.
But stuff like that, and I agree with what both of you guys are saying. He had an incredible mind for this industry. I remember when he came back, I remember the reports coming out saying that he basically had creative control.
Yeah, basically. He wanted it.
And yeah. And what's even scarier to think, we're talking so much before about the Wyatt family. And I still put it as the Wyatt family of Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman.
Brawny Braun.
To sit here tonight on August 24th, 2023. Yeah. And to think that half of that group is gone.
Yeah.
That
again
stuns me.
It's one of those things that's I think there's so many reasons why when I got that message it felt like a gut punch. It's just because so many things, just so many, you had said the Wyatt family. You had Luke, Eric, Bray. Now we have just Eric, and not for nothing, they didn't do much with Eric after the Wyatt family ended. Eric kind of got the shaft out of the whole thing. While Bray and Luke kind of went to new heights in their own ways, Eric kind of went to the wayside. So
he fell into obscurity.
I hope that he can, find his way now and kind of make a comeback. Not at these passing's expenses, but just in general. I hope he gets his due soon because he's just as good as the rest of his teammates. And at least in a positive way, you can say that Bray Wyatt's going to be able to reunite with his buddy.
Yeah. And
he gets to see Brody once again, and they can tag team all they want up in the heavens above.
Can only imagine what wrestling must be like up there right now.
A smorgasbord of matches.
Yeah.
So many matches.
Oh. Yeah.
Crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Oh yeah, we do got some comments coming, guys. Let me just go through the comments here quickly. We got one comment coming in here saying that. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay. Say it just shows tomorrow is never promised. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems to be the big message going around all over Facebook, especially when you look at any wrestling group, any wrestling Facebook group. Between the passing of Terry Funk yesterday, obviously, the passing of Bray Wyatt today. Obviously, here's the part, and I've kind of experienced this personally as well when it comes to death because, and I happen to just be looking at it right now. We just lost our dog 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Sorry about that too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is this. Death, this is going to sound morbid how I'm about to put this, but it's the only way I can put this. Death is inevitable in life. But when it hits, you don't know how to react.
No. True.
And I think that's what stinks. I know there are wrestling fans out there who were devastated when Terry Funk passed away. And I'm not taking away anything from him. But then you have other wrestling fans who are stunned that with Bray Wyatt. I mean, I'm sorry, and I feel sorry for the parents out there who have kids who were huge Bray Wyatt fans who have to sit there now and say, when you have a kid who's sitting there going, when's Bray coming back? And you have to turn around to a kid who may be only 10, 11 years old to say, hey, Billy, Bray ain't coming back. I mean, how the hell do you tell that to a 10-year-old kid?
Yeah, it's got to be hard not for that. It has to be hard for Bray's children. I can't imagine again what that's got to be like. That's like I don't. I just want the best for all of them. And again, I say it again to the whole time. I just all my love and heart goes out to everybody that was affected by his loss. His wife, his kids. -1, Brody's kid, just everybody, his friends, his family, his colleagues, anybody who he met. Ralph actually before I hopped on here sent me a message from wrestler gentleman Jervis, and a message about Bray, how he met Bray back in February of last year, and how he knew who he was when he mentioned his gimmick. He was so respectful to him and so nice to him. And just a genuine all-around guy, and that message hits home like that. They like people like just saw him. Like the Undertaker just talked to him at Mania recently. Like this is all so recent. Like having someone like Bray recognize Jervis like that made his whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's. What I'm doing, and I mean, I already saw the outpour on social media, and I even seen the outpour from other companies, not just WWE. I think Impact put something out.
Impact, everybody has, because I think this is another thing where a person transcends wrestling. And I think similar to Brody, Bray Wyatt transcends wrestling. Everybody knows who Bray Wyatt is. The name Bray Wyatt, anybody can pick up, even if you're not a wrestling fan. You know who Bray Wyatt is.
Well, that's like earlier I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw like IGN. Now, obviously they cover the wrestling video games, but that's video games. They had it. Fox News had a post about it. So when you say like, transcending wrestling, people pay attention to wrestling now. Wrestling is not this sort of backroom sort of dirty secret anymore. Like you don't have to be afraid to be a wrestling fan or tell people that you're a wrestling fan. I mean, how many people I tell, that I have a wrestling podcast and everybody's like, oh, really? That's really cool. But it's like, we don't have to be afraid to hide anymore. And, the rest of the world is taking notice of what is happening in the world of professional wrestling. And when you see somebody, that passes away so young like that. And I think for wrestling fans, it's a little different than maybe fans of, say, other sports or, fans of celebrities and things like that, because we're conditioned to watch television on a regular basis, a weekly basis, a multi-week
Daily.
basis.
Almost.
We're getting to a daily point now.
Daily basis at this point.
And so we see our heroes up there, and we see these people that we're conditioned to see every single week. And then so all of a sudden, when they're just gone and we don't see them anymore, and they're gone. And I think for us, that's a hard thing for us to understand. I think that's a hard thing for us to be able to deal with, because again, we're conditioned to see these people every week. And as fans of professional wrestling, we know more about the people behind the characters than I think most sports fans usually know about their favorite players. If you're a fan of like the kicker on the Minnesota Vikings, you're not gonna know as much about him probably as we know about a Bray Wyatt, or we know about a John Cena, or what have you. So for us, it's just a completely different situation where now, he had not been on TV for a while, but this is a person that, even not being on TV, never sort of left the spotlight.
No.
We still talked about him. We still kind of were following him and interested in what was going to happen, and wondering when he's going to come back. So it's a different situation. And I think sometimes it's a little harder to take. And I think what really makes this situation unique, and what makes this situation, something that we may not have seen for wrestling fans, Terry Funk passes away, and that's an entire generation of fans that grew up on Terry Funk and knew him. Now Bray Wyatt passes away, and we have the next generation of fans who are, who know Bray Wyatt, who grew up watching Bray Wyatt, things like that. So now you have, a lot of times it's, we lose somebody. It's somebody that, a certain generation can identify with, but now, the entire wrestling world is sort of going through the same thing now. All the different generations are feeling that same loss, that same emptiness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I could. No, go ahead,
like you
Sean.
said before, Ralph, it's I think what people don't realize with wrestling is that for us, they're like they're like superheroes to us. Like, we're watching superheroes come to life in a wrestling ring, who can do these crazy acrobatic things and crazy feats in the ring that nobody else can do. So to us, we're watching our heroes wrestle every single day, or every single week. So to lose your hero like that's a heavier blow, I think, than losing say a football player that not many people know, versus someone that like transcends the wrestling business into something that everybody knows about. Like, it's like literally everybody. ESPN posted it, AEW posted it, Impact posted it, IGN posted it. Every news site that can break it broke the news, and that's not just wrestling. So
yeah, absolutely.
I
It's
think-
like you said, transcending wrestling.
I think the other thing also we have to realize is this is also showing now that wrestling has become more mainstream than anything.
It's that's why it's look at what WWE has done with bringing in Bad Bunny, bringing in Logan Paul, like all these stars they bring in. It's giving them mainstream focus. So when someone like Bray Wyatt passes, it becomes mainstream media. Everybody knows it now, and for him, he just lost him way too soon. Like, I feel like he had so much more in the tank once he was better, and I think we were ready to really see Bray's like big comeback, and I truly feel that way. I was super excited when he first came back last year. Extreme Rules. I couldn't wait to see what they had in store for him. I was loving the White Rabbit teasers. I thought that was genius marketing on their part to tease him back, where you were on this little rabbit hole down to find out who this guy was, and it was Bray the whole time. Yeah, it was just he literally had you following him on internets, on TikToks. Like, he had his code set up for everywhere you can find, and you had to watch wrestling because if you missed it, you would miss a code that you had to scan in order to find out what the next clue was. So if you weren't watching Raw, you were missing a key clue to his return, which I thought that was genius.
And I think also we have to look at it this way. We always talk about, wrestlers are, always like, they look like bodybuilders. Bray
Not
did
Bray.
not look like a bodybuilder. He, try to find the best way to put this. He looked like a regular person.
He was just a big guy that could possibly kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had the very sort of especially in his NXT days, he had this very sort of stereotypical kind of cult leader look to him. But it was the kind of person that you can imagine, like, you're going to the grocery store and they're, over in the frozen section buying peas or something, like
yeah,
you
just a
could
regular
not
guy.
not that I expect to see Bray Wyatt at my grocery store buying peas, although that would be amazing. But he definitely had that appeal to him that he did look like an everyday person, and I think that helped. I think that helped him. As far as sort of bringing in maybe the mainstream fan into what he was doing, and then of course I feel like his wrestling brain, his mind for the sport is what really drew in sort of your hardcore, watch it every day, follow every wrestling site you can, sort of uber fan. They could really appreciate that about him. I did want to mention, I saw in the comments here that we had a comment that said, I know you can't live forever, but we're losing way too many wrestlers this year. And I thought that was really interesting because that kind of goes along with a conversation I had with somebody not too long ago that, people of my age now, I'm 43. And so I feel like people that are right around my age, we're getting to that point where a lot of the wrestlers that were the wrestlers of our childhood, the wrestlers that we grew up on, your Hulk Hogan's, your, Jake the Snakes, this whole sort of generation of big time 80s wrestlers that we grew up on, they're all getting to that age now where, we could lose anybody at any moment. Like, not that we can't lose anybody at any moment anyway, but they're getting to that age. I mean, look at Hulk Hogan. He just turned 70. I mean, legitimately think about that. I mean, I know where I was when he turned heel with the NWO. And to think that man is 70 years old now. And so we've got this whole generation of wrestlers that could really just go at any time. And I feel like that's kind of what we're seeing. And so that's what we all expect, that like, okay, who's going to be the next one to go. And it's hard because we sort of get this reality check, like, hey, it's not just the older guys. It's not just, the talent that have been around forever that are getting up in age. It could be anybody at any time. And I think part of why this hits so hard is that, it snaps us back into reality. Like, hey, while we're wondering, what legend is going to go next, someone who was a legend in his own right for his generation of wrestlers, has now passed. So it's a big wake up call.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you said, Hogan is now 70, so that puts things into perspective for just wrestling fans in general, for generations, wrestling fans. But Bray Wyatt was not even 40. Like, he was like, it still hurts to think about. Like it's still like right now it feels like a beast thing that won't stop. Because Bray was, like my hero for a while. Like he, at least on TV, like I would look forward to seeing his promo or his segment, whatever he was doing, whatever it was, because he was exciting, he was fresh, he was new, especially in 2012 when things were kind of getting kind of stale. He brought in something fresh and like new that kind of was like the shot that wrestling needed to like bring it back to life, especially with him and the Wyatt family.
Hmm. Well, and I think that post Wyatt family, we never really got to see, the real evolution of his character to, I mean, to use a video game term, final boss form. We
Yeah, which
never
I think
got,
that's where we were heading when
and
if he came back. I think we're heading for final boss Bray, and it would have been so good.
yeah, and we just never got that. So now, we're kind of left wondering, what could have been. And I feel like, and this is a term, Sean, this, we use this on our podcast all the time.
Missed opportunities.
It's one of our favorite terms, missed opportunities. And I feel like all this wasted time with Bray, and I understand, like, we got to a point where things just got kind of silly. I mean, I feel like they really kind of jumped the shark with him when they hit the pitch black match. And I don't know where they were heading with that. Obviously, part of it was, they wanted to maybe give him some time off of TV, give the character some time to breathe, and maybe, come back in that, sort of uber Bray Wyatt, final boss form. But I feel like, all of that wasted time is now something that we're going to sit here and wonder, what really was the good of that? What came from that? Nothing, because we lost Bray before we could do anything about it.
Well, if he hadn't gotten the undisclosed illness or whatever it was, he was going to face either Brock or Bobby at Mania. And so that was the start of whatever they were going to do next after that. So who knows what it would have been, but
yeah,
he had to miss Mania because of his illness. I hope that it was just something with an illness that he thought was clear and then wasn't. I would hate it if it was any other way, because that would just in my mind be more sad. Because it seemed like he was on the up and up in terms of everything. Like mentally, he seemed in a good space. Like he seemed like he was back mentally, physically. He was in great shape. Lost a ton of weight. Was like ready to go, and he seemed like he was on the up and up. Like they kept saying, like he's so close to return. He's so close to being cleared, and then now we're here.
Yeah, no, I've been listening to what you guys have been saying, and I completely agree. And again, and like I said, I've been a wrestling fan now for years, and I've seen, obviously being a wrestling fan, you've seen death. Like I said before, death is inevitable in life, but it feels like in the wrestling industry, it's become more a part of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, oddly enough, it does. And I think that's a scary part of, where wrestling is going. And just to make a quick point about Bray, and you were talking about like the mysterious illness and things like that. Look at how long Brody Lee went, and we had no idea that he was fighting something.
Well, we had no clue because they didn't say anything.
He didn't want to make it public. He didn't want to put it out there. So we don't know the circumstances, and I don't want to speculate. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff because that's really not what we're trying to do. Nope. But you just never know, and this is a term I hear all the time, in other walks of life, where when you look at somebody, you just never know what they're going through.
Yeah, no, I completely, and a few comments here. I know we've had a lot of comments coming in here, and I just haven't been able to keep up with them. But a few people have made this also point. What also stings about this whole thing? Today's also Vince's birthday.
That's very weird. I was going to mention that was in the comments, but that's weird.
Very weird that happened in that way.
And what's even stranger about it, when you think about it, is look at all the issues Bray had with Vince.
Yeah, well,
I'm not. No, go ahead, Sean.
I think that was speculation. I don't. We may never know if there was an issue or not. I think at this point, any dirt sheets are literally what it's called. dirt sheets.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
we can speculate all you want, but until we hear it from their mouths themselves, we won't know. But yeah, Vince's birthday
Yeah.
thing is weird. Someone just commented back on the 14th. Tatanka posted a picture on Facebook with Bray at the gym. So obviously he was training for a comeback back in August. Sorry, last 2 weeks ago. So it's just crazy how he was preparing for a comeback and then he just all of a sudden we just lost him. Like he was still preparing to go before he passed away.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Again, guys, we are live tonight. Obviously, as you can tell, the comments are coming in hot and heavy. We'll be with you guys for a little bit longer. Obviously, we'll have more coverage about this on our live show this coming Tuesday. Sean, Ralph, you guys, I'm assuming you guys will have a show coming out about this in the coming days.
So this weekend is a little different for us.
We have a big weekend planned ahead, so
yeah, I will be down in New Jersey at the Mancast Network New Jersey studios again, as I was a couple weeks ago, and we'll be watching All In, and then as soon as All In is over, we will be doing a live reaction show, which as of right now will be on our YouTube channel. We're at Opinion City Pod pretty much everywhere, including YouTube. And so we're definitely going to be talking about this. There's no way to talk about what could be the biggest wrestling show in the history of professional wrestling and somehow not, mention Bray and Terry and just everything that we're gaining from this week as wrestling fans, but also everything that we've lost.
Yeah. See, talk about moments for a second about Terry for a brief second. I was brought up on Chainsaw Charlie, so I love that stuff. I was all about that with him and Cactus Jack. So I remember all of that crazy stuff. So just that was what I grew up on, and I remember that fondly. With Terry, I know before we got on here, me and Ralph were talking about how Ralph was watching Barely Legal 97. I'll bite the bad version of Barely Legal 97 because his theme wasn't even on there.
Oh, the network version is terrible because they don't have any of the good music. And I couldn't find the DVD last second to pop in. So I'm like, well, I'll just watch it on the network. And then pretty much everybody's music was cut out. No Sandman, no Raven, no Tommy Dreamer, no Terry Funk. Just they cut everything out. And unfortunately, they're very bad at replacing music. They don't do a good job at all. So yeah, it was, but that's the era of Terry Funk that I knew.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't around, or didn't really have the opportunity to be able to see a lot of the NWA, WCW stuff, all of that run. I really didn't get to see a lot of different wrestling just because of where I lived. So, growing up, we pretty much had WWF, and that was it. Because I remember when Barely Legal hit, it was back during the tape trading days, for those that actually remember what tape trading is. And somebody got a hold of Barely Legal on VHS. Somebody had made a copy from a pay-per-view feed. And so we all took turns watching, passing the tape around and watching Barely Legal. And it was one of those things you just had to see. Because ECW was what it was, but Terry Funk was so captivating, and this whole idea of this chase for the title, and him getting his what some would say at the time his last run as a champion, which as far as last runs go, he'd only had about 40 of them. So that it's hard to really quantify this as that.
You never wanted to retire.
But I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be in that match. Tommy Dreamer gave him his spot, and it's just the whole storyline leading up to it, and then just the match itself and everything that he did as a 53-year-old man at the time, which,
Yeah.
Incredible to see the things that he's done. But that's the era of Terry Funk that I knew. And so, you want to use, we use different words to describe these people. We use the word legend. Some people, Jerry Lawler has called him, the greatest worker he's ever seen. Just a lot of respect for him. But I think pioneer is a great way to describe him, because he was just, for a 53-year-old man to go into a company like ECW and really put them on the map just by his being there and just speaking about ECW in the way that he did. For him to give of himself at 53 years old to help a hardcore company like that is just, it shows you what kind of a person he was, not only inside the ring, but outside the ring as well.
And I'm seeing in the comments here, Steven even said, and I remember that he had some insane hardcore matches in Japan back in the day. He was like one of the hardcore legends of like Japan next to Cactus Jack. Dude had some bangers of matches.
Oh yeah. I got two things I want to bring up with Terry Funk. First, my favorite moment with him was even, like I said before, I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of his matches, but the moment I still laugh at to this day, because I just saw it on YouTube recently. If you go back to WrestleMania 32, the lead-in for, I know it wasn't a good WrestleMania, but go back to Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar.
Atrocious. Not good. Sorry.
I'm talking about, if you remember when they had all the legends coming back,
right?
To give the toys to Dean,
which he didn't use. Sorry.
And one of them happened to be Terry Funk. Yep. But another thing I remember, and it wasn't so much Terry Funk, it was actually his brother Dory. And I know it's kind of off segue here, but you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. I actually had a chance to meet Dory Funk last August up in Albany, New York for the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame as they had their induction ceremony.
Cool.
And they're actually having it again this weekend, which I'll get to that momentarily. But the reason I bring it up is I remember I was at lunch earlier in the day. And mind you, you're in upstate New York, so you're not expecting an 80-year-old guy walking in with a bullwhip and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I'm sitting there with a few other people, and lo and behold, who comes walking into the restaurant in the hotel? But Dory Funk with a cowboy hat and a bullwhip.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Oh, yeah. But actually, I'll bring that. No, go ahead, Sean.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll bring that up quickly. This coming weekend is the 3rd annual Hall of Fame induction up in Albany, New York. They're doing an independent show tomorrow night with a company called ECPW.
Okay.
They're doing an independent show tomorrow night. Then Saturday morning, they're having a little bit of a convention because the actual Hall of Fame itself now is in the MVP Arena.
Nice.
Which is up in Albany. So they have that. And then at 6:05, and I'm not kidding you, it's at 6:05 for a reason.
On the dot.
They're doing their induction ceremony, which will include several guys, including Bret Hart, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open, and a few others who are getting inducted. So I'm good. I'm lucky enough to be going. I'm actually leaving here my house tomorrow afternoon to head up there.
Nice.
So
very cool.
It's going to be a fun couple of days up there, and especially get to go see some independent wrestling. And if you watch the show when we're live every Tuesday, you know damn well when there's independent wrestling, you bet your ass I'm there.
Speaking of independent wrestling, let's do our little cheap plug. We're going to be at Steel Stack SmackDown 2, September 16th in Bethlehem, PA. Right? Is that right, Ralph?
That is correct. This is the Lehigh Valley Athletic Council. They are based out of the Lehigh Valley area. They mostly run in Bethlehem, but there's a entertainment facility in the Bethlehem area called the Steel Stacks. It is basically the old all the old steel buildings where Bethlehem Steel used to produce steel, and it has been turned into a giant entertainment complex. And so they are having their big show of the year there. This is actually the second time that they are running at the steel stacks. And last year they had over 1,000 people. It was standing room only. And when I say standing room only, I mean sardines in a can. Standing room only. Oh, it was crazy. So they're going to be running there again. This is Steel Stacks SmackDown 2, and the roster that they've assembled so far. I mean, you want to talk about big names. They've got the Godfather, and D'Lo Brown will be there. Alpha Jr. is going to be there. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. Big Dan Champion, who is a Lehigh Valley legend in the indie scene. Matt Mikowski, who is a big indie wrestler. Delirious from Ring of Honor. Frightmare. Becca. All these big names of really, sort of East Coast independent wrestling are going to be there for this huge show. We will be there. We will be doing our own little recap that weekend on our show, just talking about how awesome it is. The LVAC is a great wrestling company. If you're looking for someone that does, fun, interactive wrestling that really is all about the fans and all about having fun, the LVAC is definitely one to check out. You can find them on socials at the LVAC. And I know tickets are going fast. So if you're going to be in the Bethlehem area, September 16th, it's a Saturday night. Please look up tickets online now. I know ringside and balcony are sold out, so pretty much general admission, standing room only is what you've got. But it's going to be a show not to miss. Last year's show was huge. They had Orange Cassidy. Eddie Kingston was there. Eddie Kingston gave what would probably be like a 10-minute just emotional banger of a speech in the middle of the ring about growing up there and really starting his wrestling career in that area. So they're great people to support. They do about 4 or 5 shows a year, but they're just a great company. So Sean and I will be there at the show. So if you're in the area and you're at the show and you see us there, we'll have our brand new Opinion City shirts on. So please, feel free to stop and chat with us. We're always happy to chat with fellow wrestling fans and come out and see some great wrestling.
If you can see me, I'm doing the Mick Foley thumbs up after a cheap plug.
I'll add one more plug to that. I'll add one more plug to that. September 2nd in Homedale, New Jersey, with a little company called SWF.
That's my birthday.
We will, myself and my co-host, my regular co-host Ryan Peterson, will be on. And actually, we're about to actually have another co-host momentarily here. If you just give me
number 4.
Oh boy,
yes, it's actually funny. Sean, you brought your co-host with you.
Oh, I'm gonna have a co-host off. A co-host off. I like this.
Uh-oh.
All right, here's the funny thing, Sean. Here's the funny thing. You've been to shows in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
You probably have recognized. You probably have seen my co-host in action.
Maybe. Maybe.
Have you ever heard of a company called Invictus?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Or another company called WrestlePro?
Oh yeah, WrestlePro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, WrestlePro is a good one.
I used to go see Pro Wrestling Syndicate shows in Jersey all the time.
There you go.
When I'm talking about, Sean, when I said about WrestlePro and Creative Pro, the voice of those two companies happens to be also the co-host of the Around the Ropes podcast.
Okay.
Because, guys, bring it in right now. The one, the only.
Ryan Peterson.
Ryan, what's going on?
What's going on, guys? Live via satellite from my car. So if I sound a little choppy, I apologize.
Nice. You sound just great.
Okay.
I think this is our first ever crossover episode, Opinion City and Around the Ropes. Welcome, guys. This is sad, but welcome.
Yeah, I know. I wish it was on a better occasion.
What's up, Ryan? What are some of your favorite Bray moments while you're in the car?
Oh God. Well, first of all, unlike everyone else, I didn't know what the hell was going on until I called Mr. Bland and said, "What the fuck did I miss?"
A lot.
Yeah. But I don't know if John gave you told you what Mr. Sean Ross Sapp reported earlier today.
Brian.
I told John. I won't say it. I won't. But I will believe it when I hear it from the mouth himself, whether it's Triple H or his father.
Understandable, yeah.
I would rather hear the truth than some he said, she said nonsense. So when the official report comes out, then I'll believe whatever they say then. So that's just how I am. It's just how I've always been. As much as we love reading dirt sheets and listening to the reporters of said dirt sheets, I'm always in the mindset of I'll believe it when I see it.
No, I actually was not gonna say. No, dude, it's all good, man. I wasn't gonna say what he said. I wasn't gonna say anything about it. So, because I know John was like, but I'm like, no. I wasn't gonna say anything.
No, I saw that gesture.
Who didn't see that? I was live on the camera. No, but with I think the entire world saw John go.
Yeah.
No, my favorite memories of him, or I remember him when he was Husky Harris.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, because
that's going way back. Like that's going back.
2010.
Yeah, back when NXT was just a child's game show.
Yep, when it was a PG game show with Brian being trashed every second of the way.
On Sci-Fi, where an average of 5 viewers a week watched.
Yep.
Yeah.
But but also I remember when they did the Wyatt the Wyatt family, his debut match was that freaking Inferno match.
Yep, the Ring of Fire match against Kane.
Or Ring of Fire, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
With Kane.
It's flames. It's flames.
It's fire. It's fire. Ooh, fire! Yes, fire.
I hear wrestling
What was
fans
that?
love fire.
Shut up, John.
I hear wrestling fans. I was gonna say,
Yes,
Ryan, would we be doing a show where you don't pick on me once?
No. Yeah, yes, John. Wrestling fans love fire, and they also love sparklers. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
That happens. But anyway, with Bray though, dude, I'm still in shock by it, as well as everyone else. But like,
we're also in a state of shock because like we've been saying it the whole show. I feel like, and I don't know how you feel, Ryan. I feel like Bray Wyatt almost transcended wrestling because everybody posted about his passing. Everybody. It wasn't just us. It was ROH. It was Impact. It was ESPN. It was IGN. Everybody put this out there, so everybody knew about Bray Wyatt in some aspect.
even NWA did something about it, which I was like, wow.
Yeah, everyone is doing it. Everyone's doing it.
It's been a rough 24 hours for 24 or 48 hours for wrestling all around, because we got Terry Funk, living legend, and then I not to jinx anything, but I said this to John. I don't know if you guys know the phrase of when it comes to celebrity deaths. Celebrity deaths always come in 3.
Yep, I remember that a lot. It always comes in 3s, and
I'm kind of I don't want to know who and especially in the wrestling, I don't want to know who the third is. I'm afraid to find out who. I think it's.
I hope we don't have to find out.
Yeah, exactly. But with Funk, I have one quick Funk story. I know this is about the Bray Wyatt thing, but I want to talk about Funk a little bit. So about 7 years ago, I actually worked a show. Actually, no, 2013. 2016. Sorry, I'm trying to do math right now. Math is not much. Oh shit! Almost 9 years ago now. It was 2016. Wow. I worked a show in my old hometown of Huntington on Long Island, and he was the special guest on the show. I'm like, sure. It was literally right down the block for me, like literally a 5-minute drive. My debut for this promotion, and Terry Funk was there. Literally, I only asked him one question from the old school ECW days. The guy went on a 2.5-hour story time.
That's
but
awesome.
I was loving every second of it. Literally, Terry Funk was literally the most nicest, most humble guy that I think anybody could have ever met.
Hmm.
And now Bray Wyatt, though, I never had the opportunity to meet or work with him, but I got an opportunity to work with his father for a little bit. IRS.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we were talking.
Of course.
This was back in 2000, and the last time I saw him was 2021, I believe. And that's when the feet, the whole thing with the feet. I was really more asking about his his other son, Bo, like what he's been what's been going on with him, and we were just talking about. But but anyway, getting off track here because talking about the rotundas and everything. But with Bray though, I mean, he left such an impact for this generation on wrestling, in my opinion. I mean, come on. How many of you guys remember the Firefly Funhouse?
I loved the Firefly Funhouse. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was
I loved it. I loved
it
every
was
second of
fresh,
it.
It was genius, and the way they had the whole like Jekyll and Hyde situation where like he didn't
Oh my God.
the Fiend right away, but then he teased it. It was so good.
And how about the Firefly Funhouse match with Cena?
One of my favorite cinematic matches to this day.
I think
that might be the only match that I actually like Cena, because I'm not a Cena fan at all. So for me, like that might be my only Cena match I enjoy.
It's funny that you mentioned best cinematic matches. I think obviously we've seen cinematic matches as of late, but I feel like because I remember that weekend well. Trying to get a little personal right now, and again, apologies for going off track here, but that weekend was a rough weekend for me because that's when I lost my mother, unfortunately. So I missed WrestleMania. I watched WrestleMania, I think a week and a half later because I wasn't in the right mindset. But I remember watching that Firefly Funhouse actually, because everyone was talking about it, and also the Boneyard match with Styles and Taker. I think those two are possibly like the greatest cinematic matches in wrestling.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here's an interesting to go back. No, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say with Wyatt though, I've always been a fan of his. Especially with the Wyatt family. I still remember the little feud that the Wyatt family had. They should have had a little longer with the Shield. That they should have went longer with that.
Oh yeah.
But then seeing Bray Wyatt, winning the title at Elimination Chamber, I think it was 2017. I popped huge for that one because I was so fucking excited.
I just wish
but then losing to Randy Orton,
longer reign. Yeah,
I know.
It was so short of a reign, but so like I think his longest reign as champion was his first run as Universal Champion as the Fiend.
Nah, no, the Fiend was only a week.
No, not the second time. The first time.
Oh shit! Oh, wow! Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot about that. I want to make sure there's no cops behind me.
The very first time he had it for a few months before losing it to freaking Goldberg.
Yeah, let's not bring that up, shall we?
No, it's not. That's not a good time.
No,
that's not a good time.
The event that never happened.
Exactly.
I know that was John's favorite. I know that was John's favorite match because he was doing cartwheels when Goldberg won.
Oh no!
He does look like a Goldberg fan. I can see it in his eyes.
I think he's doing the Goldberg puff. I think he's doing the Goldberg huff right now. All we're missing is the smoking the sparklers, and there you go. Oh look, we have our Gilbert.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But instead of Gilbert, it's Blainberg.
Oh boy.
That works.
There you go, John. You got your gimmick. You're Blainberg.
And it's getting rough in here now. Oof.
Pretty.
Oh, you have no idea the shit that we do. You have no idea. But anyway. But getting back to Bray Wyatt. And also I feel so bad for us. Try not to get a little emotional right now, but I feel for for his wife JoJo and his kids.
Yeah.
Leaving behind a beautiful family. I think it was a family of 3. I think.
Yeah, it was a family of 3. I was saying before you hopped on I saw a post about Brody Lee Jr. How not only did he lose his father, but he lost his godfather when Ray passed away.
Yeah, I know.
And he's only like 11 years old, so that's just crazy to that too. It's just so unbelievably sad what we could have gotten with Bray, and I was really looking forward to seeing his comeback, what it was going to be like, and like we and Ralph were saying before, we thought that this would be like his uber big boss battle mode Bray, and I was here for it. I was ready for it. So.
I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but I actually enjoyed the pitch black match. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
Well, you missed how I felt about it. I just said how terrible I thought it was right before you got on.
Can we get him off? Can we get him out of here?
He's my co-host. Leave me alone.
Yeah, listen.
Just put him on mute. I'm kidding.
No, listen. I've got my own podcast. I'll go talk about how bad the pitch black match was for like 2 hours next week just to make my point. But no,
Jesus Christ.
Listen, it wasn't the worst match I've ever seen, but it also wasn't the best match I've ever seen. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it lived up to what it could have been, and I don't think it did really anything for anybody involved. So those are my big problems with it. But
I'm more sad that we have to remember that for Bray's last official match.
Televised match to be exact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sad part of the whole thing.
I know. I think he did a house show match afterwards.
He did. From what I remember, he was part of a road to WrestleMania house tour.
Yeah.
Because I think originally there were 2 plans for him. I think it was supposed to be him and Brock, and then him and Lashley. But then, if you guys remember, he unfortunately pulled out. But they didn't give her explanation as to why.
All they said was that he had an undisclosed illness.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And that they later clarified that it was a life-threatening undisclosed illness that I think was unfortunately what came back on him. It's just no one knows. Obviously, it's all speculation, but that was what kept him back, was this undisclosed illness, and
To be honest, I don't even know if I want to know.
Nope, I don't. I just want to remember him for what he was, and that was a genius in the ring.
And I was the same thing with Brody Lee too, because I remember when he passed, God, almost 3 years ago now. That's even scarier. They actually said what he had, because I think Amanda approved of the release, but for like JoJo and everyone else, I don't think they want to release, and quite honestly, I don't blame them. I know there'll be some people in the wrestling community that will go, "Oh, come on, how come they're not telling us what happened? This is so selfish of them. They shouldn't be telling us. They should tell us. If I get chastised for this, I don't give a shit. We don't have the right to know exactly what goes on in everyone in their everyday lives.
No.
And for something like this, we don't fucking deserve to know what happened. If they feel comfortable saying it out loud, that's on them. They should not be pressured into releasing that information out to the public if they don't want to. That's not just an entertainment world. That's just life in general.
I completely agree.
And unfortunately, some people nowadays, in not only in the wrestling community, but just in life in general, needs to have a massive reality check on, morals. That's coming from me.
I'll go a step further in this whole thing with Bray that nobody's really talking about. I'm not taking away from anything that's been said by anybody on social media tonight or anything of that nature. That I feel sorry for JoJo, I feel sorry for the kids, but we're also forgetting another part of this whole thing. I feel sorry for IRS and his wife.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
In life, you're not supposed to do. In life, yeah. In life, you're not supposed to. Yeah.
They lost one of their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. It's not supposed to be like that.
No.
But
and let's think about this too. Triple H, when he reported the news on Twitter, or X as we probably should start calling it now.
No, I still call it Twitter, but move on.
Listen, while Triple H was on X today, he when he made the announcement, he said that he had received a call from Mike Rotunda. So, I mean, I can't even imagine having to make that call and tell somebody, hey, they found my son dead. Like, I don't even know how you do that. I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I don't know.
And here's the other thing also, I can't even imagine being that person high up in WWE, in this case Triple H. I can't even imagine him getting that phone call.
Oh yeah.
Because him and Bray, they've had a top-notch relationship. They've never had any issues. They loved work, and Triple H I think called him one of his top guys.
Oh yeah, we were talking earlier about how Triple H said in an interview years ago about NXT and talking about how Bray Wyatt, was everything was really all due to Bray Wyatt. Like they just let him run with it, and he was the example that Triple H used as to how they let wrestlers just kind of run with their ideas and make stars out of themselves. And Bray Wyatt was his example. So I think he always felt kind of proud for what they were able to do with that Bray Wyatt character, especially what they did with him in NXT before even bringing him up to the main roster.
Oh yeah, when it was him, Rowan and Harper, when they debuted the Wyatt family.
Yeah, and I just think the whole thing when the news broke, that wasn't even get to Ryan. Before you hopped on, somebody had mentioned in the comments, and it kind of took things an interesting turn. Today's also Vince's birthday.
I don't know what that has to do with this. So I think it's best that we don't, get into that topic because that's completely not what we're talking about.
It's just an eerie coincidence, I think.
It is, but at the same time, it is. No, I agree, but at the same time, this is not what this live special is about. We're not here talking about Vince McMahon's 850th birthday or what. I don't know how old he is, honestly. And saying he grew his 27th mustache in a row. Whatever. I don't know. I don't care. We're here talking about the top memories of Mike Rotunda, aka Bray fucking Wyatt.
I completely agree.
Quite honestly, Wyndham Rotunda? Why did I say Mike Rotunda? Or is that Bo? Or is Mike the father?
Rotunda is IRS.
Mike's the father.
I'm sorry.
And then he was.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, his name is Wyndham Rotunda.
Thank you, Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray fucking Wyatt. Quite honestly, we'll never get another one like him ever in wrestling ever again. No matter, there could be people trying to get up to that level and imitate, but quite honestly, no, there'll never be another one.
He was a one of a kind character, or a one of a kind wrestler. Just he had all these ideas that he wanted to put out there, like the masks. The Fiend mask was him. I was just saying before how one of my favorite moments is the actual entrance to the Fiend's debut, where he held his own head on a lantern.
Oh my God! Yes. Oh my God! Because remember also we didn't know what to expect, but when that the whole entrance, the attire, everything, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. And apparently he destroyed Finn Balor so badly he went back down to NXT.
Yeah.
Magic?
And actually, you bring up him with Finn. Somebody made the comment before, and I remembered this. I was at the Coliseum when he made his first in-ring appearance as the Fiend.
Was that when he won the title?
No, that was on Monday Night Raw, if you remember.
Yeah, no, because I was there for that one. It was that weird steel cage dark match with him and Seth Rollins. It was fucking weird.
No. I'm talking about when Finn had the match, and I forgot who he had faced. And all of a sudden, remember when he started with the Fiend thing, and all of a sudden parts of the arena would just go black?
Oh yeah, when it would cut out.
Oh yeah, when he debuted into the Sister Abigail.
Yep.
Yeah, I was there for that one
I
too.
was there for. I'm laughing right now how you and I have been to so many shows.
I know.
I was at the Extreme Rules 2014 where John Cena lost to Bray Wyatt thanks to a small child singing the Bray's theme.
Oh yeah.
See, watching it live is weird because where we were sitting, we couldn't see the little kid. All we heard was the deepened voice of singing "We Got the Whole World in His Hands." It wasn't until I watched it back live where I understood what actually happened. I was like, oh, a kid helped Bray win.
Yeah.
It was still cool though.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you guys mentioned this on here, but WWE actually made a statement in regards to his merchandise.
I was just gonna bring that up because I just saw that for the first time. But go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go right ahead.
So, on WWEshop.com, they did. I don't know exactly what they call it, but they did some weird algorithm shit that apparently. I don't think they said all of it, but I think like half of the proceeds goes towards the family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They're reporting
No, I think it's
that
all the proceeds.
the net proceeds.
The net proceeds. Okay. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
But still, that's.
Yeah, I think from
But
what.
still, that's.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's. Okay, let me ask you guys this. Obviously, we've seen it in AEW, but for WWE, if any, like legends or stuff like that, they never did that for any of them, did they?
Did what? Oh,
like the proceeds.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I think Bray's maybe a first.
Bray's the first one.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think I have an idea who came up with that idea.
Okay.
The man who announced it earlier, Triple H.
Oh,
I think it was his decision to do that.
Surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me one bit because if it's one thing that you know about Triple H is that he takes care of his boys. Anybody that he is tight with, that he's got their back no matter what. And I think Bray was one of those guys that Triple H had his back no matter what.
He was part of the original NXT crew.
Yep.
The original NXT before they went to the network. It was when it was him, the Shield. Before they were the Shield. Oh God, Adrian. Some guy named Adrian Neville. I don't know what the hell he's doing right nowadays.
Yeah.
And Bray's brother, Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, and
all part of that original crew.
Well, and think about this. We're talking about them not having done this for anybody else. This is the first sort of current generation of wrestler that we've seen pass away since the WWE is now owned by Endeavor. So this could be something that we see going forward if a situation arises like this again, where they decide
this better not happen again. But
sure.
But at least it shows a good example of how a company takes care of of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I
just happened to be scrolling. No, go ahead, Ryan.
What? No. What were you saying? You haven't scored what?
I happened to be scrolling through Twitter, and somebody actually posted a clip of it, and I totally forgot about this. Do you remember when they had Bray Wyatt team with Roman Reigns?
Oh, that great clip where Bray Wyatt hits the Stephanie goes for a pin, and then as Reigns hits a spear, does the gunshot hand. Because never that image would never leave my mind ever. Because it's such a cool image. It's such a cool image. I love that.
No.
And all I remember from that was Bray doing the pointing.
I just said that. Yes.
No.
Yes.
One clip I'll never forget. I think it was Battleground 2015, where was Seth, Moxley and Roman Reigns and a mystery partner against Bray, Luke, and Rowan. Trying to figure out who the mystery person was. You see a random guy in a shield costume hop in the ring, stand right behind him. All of a sudden, you see the clip is Bray sitting on the top turnbuckle going, "That's your boy! That's your boy!" I laughed on that one.
Yeah, there's just so many good Bray moments.
But
even if
also from what I'm reading from the famous dirt sheets. No, from what I'm hearing in regards to SmackDown tomorrow night, supposedly everything that they had planned is put on hold for tomorrow.
I hope that they just do a giant tribute show, which I haven't done in years. Do a good one where I cry my eyes out for 2 hours. I want that. I think the last time they really did something like to that nature. I'm not even gonna mention the one from 2007. I'm talking about the one from 2005. Eddie Guerrero. Oh, dude, I was a mess during that show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If they do that tomorrow, I'm gonna be a bubbling mess, and I can't wait for it because I need that release. Because right now I'm still just numb to it, and I need that release.
Someone said it best. The storylines on SmackDown can fucking wait a week.
Yeah, just wait. Just give it a rest.
And then you can jam everything into next week's SmackDown because that's exactly what's gonna happen anyway. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, as long as they give Bray the proper diligence, other than just the graphic card, I'm
no. I want the whole fucking tribute show.
But it's saying the whole show, not just a card, the whole thing.
Well, maybe have some matches on there if somehow they can pull off, or even have like all the wrestlers wearing, Bray's. Oh, I just thought of something. Picture this.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Remember what they did for Eddie with the car?
Yeah.
How about for Bray? And this is gonna go. Wow. How about there's a little stage set up on the side, and on the stage is a rocking chair, and his hat, and his Fiend mask.
Oh, that dude! If I saw that, I would just cry. I would be like, no. You have my tears. You're welcome. I don't know. They need to do something big for Bray because this is not a normal. This to me is a tragedy. More than anything, this is a tragedy.
And not to speak technically, but he was a SmackDown superstar. I mean, granted, but technically he should do it on his home brand.
Oh yeah. Someone mentioned another moment that I forgot about. I think it was the Bray Wyatt versus Orton cinematic match.
Oh yeah.
Before COVID.
Oh my God.
They do something different beforehand.
House of Horrors
match. Listen,
oh my God.
Trash it all you want. I thought it was different and cool.
It was interesting. I'll tell you that.
It could have been better, but it wasn't bad. It was. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was different.
I 36 fucking years old, and as pretty much after all this, the common thread that I'm seeing all over social media from my people. Oh, I guess John's gone.
Sorry.
That's fine. The better half is here. The guy who really carries the show. Jo- listen. John does all the technical IT stuff. I'm just the face. I'm just the
There you
face
go.
that puts the. I'm just the face that puts the asses in seats. Now,
Listen, I like to think that me and Ralph are equals, so I'm not gonna say anybody over anybody else.
and speaking of the unbetter half, it's John. How you doing, buddy?
Fantastic.
Wow.
You almost saw me break my laptop in half.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah, I know why.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
Listen, while you were gone, Ryan was putting you over. Man, he said great things about
We were
you.
big time, man.
Yeah, it was
big
amazing.
time, yeah.
You're gonna have to run this back and listen to all the compliments he gave you.
All
It
the
was
good stuff.
amazing.
Oh yeah, especially when you told me stories about when you were a kid and you cosplayed as Goldberg. You attempted to spear a bunch of pillows that you set up in the corner.
I totally believe
Yeah.
that.
You did, and also you did the jackknife power. You did the jackknife power bomb, thinking especially if you had a long pillow, you think it was Kevin Nash or the Giant going spear, ping, and just fucking.
Listen, not to get totally off track, but jackknives are no joke. My brother Adam, when we were
boy.
young, we were play wrestling, and my brother Adam went to power by my younger brother onto a bed, missed the bed, and his head hit the metal
Oh Jesus Christ!
bed frame. Mind you,
Don't-
we were like really young, so I think Aaron was probably like 8. So he was
Yeah.
like, "Ah!" freaking out.
But anyway, back to Baby Goldberg up here.
But yeah,
But no, but yeah, the common thread that I've been seeing on social media is treat every day. Someone said it's like live. It's a song out there too. I'm like going all over the place right now. We gotta live like we're dying. You gotta enjoy
Mhm.
each day as it is.
Yeah.
Reach out to your loved ones,
yep.
except for John. I'm kidding. I love you. I love you, John. Sometimes. Nah. I'm sorry. What was that short stack?
We're much nicer to each other on our show.
I was gonna say.
We're not.
Right. What I'll do is I'll get on a step stool and I'll have a megaphone, so then you'll hear me there. You'll hear me there, Ryan the Giant.
Hey, I'd rather be giant than tiny.
Yeah, but here's the difference though. Being tiny, if the wind blows, it can blow right over my head.
But here's the thing: at least they can get on all the rides at any amusement park.
I thought the show was about Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Let's
Yeah,
let's get
Wow.
the let's put this train
we're
back on the tracks.
we're showing off Bray's mean side, especially that one phrase that he said in the Firefly Funhouse mask. You can look, but you can't touch.
Okay, why do we do this? Why do we do this before we go into a whole spiral out of control here?
No, but too late.
Yeah. Why don't we do this? Since we've already been on for almost 2 hours, I did not think we were going to be on this long.
Well, listen,
It's wrestling.
It just happens. Once the train leaves the station, there's no getting it back.
Well,
Exactly.
Ralph, here's the thing: when it's Around the Ropes podcast, the train leaves the station, and within 30 seconds, it goes way off the track.
If there's one thing that I could say I do on our show is I keep us in track.
Yeah, I do not.
Me and him do go off on tangents, but I'm the one that has to bring it around back.
Yeah, I'm the mayor of Tangent City.
No, but no, with again with this whole thing with Bray Wyatt though, it's I just like Mr. Russell said, it's still numb for the time being. I have a feeling tomorrow it's gonna hit all of us in a different way.
Oh, I'm dreading tomorrow, and I love Fridays. I'm dreading.
I know.
I'm off Saturday, which is great. I can have a day where I can just sulk and be sad and whatever. But like Friday is my day because I'm like, yay, it's the weekend. and now I'm gonna be like, yay, it's the weekend.
Oh, there's and also for SmackDown tomorrow, there are two people that I know are gonna get hit the worst, and they're gonna probably be the first people to talk on the air tomorrow. The hell's going on out there?
I know.
Go on.
There are two people tomorrow that I feel like are gonna get hit the worst because they're gonna be the ones starting it off, and that is Michael Cole and Corey Graves.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
That's always tough.
I thought that you might have said Bliss, because even though she hasn't been on TV in a while, I can't imagine if they don't have her say something about it, because this big comeback was gonna involve Uncle Howdy and Bliss. They were all gonna come back as this like group.
Yeah.
Teasing it, so to have kind of her story kind of taken away from her such a last minute, I'm sure it hurts not only to lose a friend, but to like lose kind of everything.
And I have a feeling that somehow I think Braun Strowman's going to show up tomorrow.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope he does. I hope,
or at least give a video message. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Video messages from Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, because remember Braun was brought up by Bray.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's gonna hit Corey Graves even worse, because Corey Graves and Bray Wyatt go back to FCW.
Yeah, bring everybody who Bray ever touched in wrestling on this one show. I don't care about companies or whatever. Just bring them all in and just do a thing.
Leave all the well, he's on this show and that show.
Yeah,
leave all that
cares?
shit behind.
Who cares?
Who fucking cares?
Perfect
example.
We are above that. We are beyond that. It was just, I don't even care if they bring back Eric Rowan. Just bring him back for a day. Bring him back.
Please.
Bring him back.
That would
Please.
be that would be the moment right there. Bring him back.
Have
Have him and Braun
with,
come out together.
Yeah, have them come together with the old Luke Harper theme.
Mhm.
Oh
really
my
sell it.
God!
Really sell it.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the rocking chair, the hat, and the Fiend mask used as a display. Imagine that. Oh God! And also one of Bray's T-shirts just laying on the back of the chair.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Just
Why am I not booking this shit?
Oh, I know.
Because I never wrote for Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, though, guys, I want to just go around the room quickly here. I think that's a good spot to end on, is what I'm about to ask.
Cool.
I know, Ryan, I haven't done this in a while on our regular show, but I think it's in a circumstance, in a situation like this, I think it's perfect that we do it this way. Final thoughts on the whole thing. Obviously, I said this before, Ryan, before you hopped on. We'll have more about this on our show this coming Tuesday. Sean and Ralph, I think you guys had said before you guys were going to talk a little bit about this on your next show, on the reaction show that you guys do for All In. But Sean, let me go to you first on this. Final thoughts on this whole thing, and where can people find you on social media? Go ahead and plug your stuff.
It's just a tragedy in general. I've been saying it this whole episode. It's just honestly the tragedy. Like the man was a creative wrestling genius that was just not fully fulfilled yet. And I feel like if he had come back, he would have finally been able to fulfill that itch that I feel like he was scratching when he first came back at Extreme Rules. He's just the creative mind he has is just like Ryan said, would ever be another one like that again. He just had the mindset, he had the wherewithal, the know-withal to create this character that he thought was gonna sell, and it did. It's just I miss him already, and it's not even been a full day yet. It's just knowing that we will not see his comeback is I think what hurts the most is that we will not get to see that third coming, if you will, of Bray Wyatt. So yeah, I'm just sad. Just a sad day. You can follow me and Ralph at Opinion City Pod. I am at Parmacheezel on all the socials. You can listen to our show every Monday 9 a.m. Eastern, wherever you get your podcasts. Ralph, what do you got?
All right, so obviously just a very tough week for wrestling fans. Losses in both generations. Talents that we are going to miss immensely. I think the important thing here to remember is that let's celebrate the lives of the people that they were while we are still mourning the losses, and it's a good thing and a bad thing that we've got a huge wrestling show this weekend, possibly the biggest in the history of wrestling. So, as a wrestling fan, just gather with other fans, get together, enjoy wrestling. These are two people that we lost this week that gave as much as they possibly could of their lives to entertain us. So, let's honor them this weekend by just getting together and enjoying pro wrestling, enjoying each other's fans, and just sharing memories. As Sean said, we're online at Opinion City Pod. You can find us on all the socials. Monday, 9 a.m. New episodes release every week. So please check us out. You can find me on all the socials at Real Ralph 316. So please feel free to
Real Ralph 360.
That's right, Real Ralph 316. So please feel free to hit me up. Feel free to hit me up. I love talking wrestling all the time. So all right, next.
Brian.
Oh God, this one's gonna be this one's gonna be a little rough. So again, like Russell and Ralph said, this is a tragedy that none of us expected. None of us saw this coming, and it's very heartbreaking that we won't be seeing Bray's I guess new risen form of his character, his life and whatnot. Creative wise, again, you'll never get anyone like him in wrestling. No matter how many imitators there are out there, no one can beat the originator. And coming from someone like me who's involved in wrestling, who's obviously knows people in knows a couple people in WWE, but also knows people like in AEW that know him and whatnot. It feels like you lost a family member that it feels you lost a family member and you're never gonna see them again. It leaves a huge hole in your heart. And I feel for the entire Rotunda family, his wife JoJo, his 3 kids, but also everyone involved in wrestling that knew him, that were best friends with, anyone that involved with him. But just remember one thing. Physically, he may not be around anymore, but mentally, he'll always be there in wrestling form one way or another. And after, this is going to sound really messed up, but I don't give a shit. After 3 years, he's reunited with his best friend up in heaven.
Yeah.
Looking down on all of us. The Exalted One and the Fiend reuniting once again. And as they always say, he's got the whole world in his hands, and by God, he's got the best view for it right now.
Yep.
And more importantly, stay close to your loved ones. Stay close to your loved ones, because you don't know when the end will come.
Amen, brother. I completely agree.
Yeah.
And Brian, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, if you don't know where I am on social media, you haven't been watching our show every single week. You can find me on Instagram at WrestlingMC. You can catch me. You can catch my schedule of where I'm going to be. You can catch me on the Around the Rules podcast every Tuesday night on there. It's the same song and dance hokey bullshit that I say every single Tuesday. Again, if you don't know where you can find John and I, what is wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. But again, I'm trying not to get teary-eyed right now because I think it's slowly hitting me. Um, I again, 36 fucking years old. 36
Yeah,
at the
that's
prime of his, not only at the prime of his career, but the prime of his life,
Yeah.
especially
and
to
leaving
put
and having a beautiful family on top of it.
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
my final thoughts is this. I was at first I didn't know if this was the right direction to go, because at first I was like, why don't we just wait till Tuesday? But I was like, you know what, emotions are running high.
And everyone
That's
else
why
was doing it too.
yeah, so I was like, you know what, let me just join everybody else. As far as my final thoughts on everything that happened, life is short, and you don't know when that final breath, that final hug, that final goodbye is going to ever happen. So you may, and I said this to somebody earlier tonight, and I think it's a perfect way to put it. You got to cherish every moment,
Absolutely.
because you cherish every moment. You tell not only your family, but you tell your friends you love them, because if you don't, and something, God forbid, happens, you're going to kick yourself for not getting that chance.
Mm-hmm.
It'll haunt you. It'll haunt you for the rest. It'll haunt you possibly for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. If you reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, because yeah, while you have you in your life, the only way you get through life a lot of times is with friends and family. And between the passing of Terry Funk and the passing of Bray Wyatt, I think that's kind of hit home very much in the last 48 hours. I want to send condolences to JoJo, to their kids, to Mike Rotunda and his wife, to Bo Dallas, to everybody who had the ability to either work with Bray or had seen Bray on TV. I send my condolences. Again, guys, I want to thank Sean and Ralph for hopping on tonight. You can catch them every Monday on the Opinion City podcast. Obviously, you know where you can find myself and this guy right here.
I want to add one more thing before we go off. I just
Okay.
thought of this right now, and I promise it won't be long.
Okay.
Obviously, we've seen a lot of, unfortunately, we've seen wrestlers come and gone, in in our generation and lifetime whatnot. But I feel like if you had to pick the top ones that really hits the worst, I can name a few of them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior, especially with that story of how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brody Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think off the top of my head. This one may be a little bit controversial, but to me, this actually is a Sarah Lee.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah.
Sarah Lee. I'm just thinking like four others at the top of my head. Eddie Guerrero and Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
In my opinion, those five are the most shocking passings that we've seen in our lifetime. And I'm going to add on to what John said, about being with your friends and family. Even if it's like 10 seconds, just reach out to someone and just say, hey, hope you're doing well, because you never know that even that something that simple can make that other person's day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Completely
totally agree. And I think that's a good way to end tonight's show. Again,
Absolutely.
you can catch the Opinion City podcast with Sean and with Ralph. Monday mornings, 9 a.m. is when their episodes drop. Obviously, you can catch myself and Ryan every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., right here on the new ATR network. We will be back live with you guys this coming Tuesday, not only to talk more about the passing of Bray Wyatt, talk about Terry Funk, but talk about that little event happening over in Wembley Stadium Sunday afternoon. Again,
Now,
guys.
Now let's go do the Husky Shuffle. Let's do it.
Guys,
oh God.
Go subscribe to the Opinion City podcast. They are one of the better podcasts out there.
Thank
Give
you.
them a subscribe.
Yeah,
Give them a
thanks.
review.
Appreciate that.
Give them all that stuff. And also, while I'm putting everybody over, hit the subscribe button for us.
Put yourself over.
Yeah,
Of
there you
course.
go.
It's pro wrestling. What do you expect? But again, guys, I know this was not the episode that any of us wanted to be doing here on a Thursday night, but unfortunately it had to be done. And again, guys, I appreciate everybody who watched tonight's episode. It means a lot. I appreciate all the comments. I know I didn't get a chance to get to the comments just because I was trying to finagle a few things, including my stupid internet, which didn't work, but that's another story for another day. But for Sean, for Ralph, for Ryan, and for me, I think I can safely say this from all of us. We send our condolences to the Rotunda family, to any fans of his, to any friends of Bray Wyatt. And Bray, if you can hear us, you now have the whole world in your hands. We'll catch you guys next time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that.